Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at Teams and how to use co-authoring as a form of collaboration in Teams. So take a look over here. We have a couple teams already set up. We have our content development team as well as our DevOps teams, which were teams that were created for us here. If we were to go into the content development, we can take a look at manage team and see we have a couple owners in here, or a couple members as well as owners for this specific team. And that'll be broken down according to their particular role within this content development team. So if we take a look here, back in the general channel here, we'll be able to actually, if we take a look down underneath, we have the ability to attach a file to this conversation here. So if we go ahead and click on that, it's going to give you the first time you try to do it, it's going to give you a couple little pop-ups here. So we can go ahead and skip on through those. And if we go ahead and click in there again, we have the ability to either upload a file from OneDrive or right from the computer. Let's go ahead and click on upload from my computer. And I'm going to just pull one up from my desktop here. Okay, so now we'll notice that we have this file is actually uploaded into this conversation here. Now, if we wanted to actually specifically let people know that this file has been uploaded, we can actually use this @ symbol here where it says, where it says down here, type @ to mention someone. That's referred to as a mention, which is kind of like a call out. So if you mention somebody by name, they'll actually get a notification on their end, similar to what you'll see up here next to this team logo. And it'll look like a little @ symbol that will actually let them know that they've been specifically brought up in a conversation here. Let's go ahead and let Alan know that we've actually uploaded this file. And here we'll let Molly know as well. Okay, so now that Karen has actually uploaded this document, now Alan and Molly will actually get a notification on their end letting them know. And we can even take a look at that if we hop on over to Alan's screen here. Now he has a notification up here. Karen mentioned you. That's just letting him know that he was mentioned by name in this, and it'll actually have a reference to where he was mentioned as well. Okay, so now if we now that Alan is taken over here, we can actually take a look in the general channel here, and we can take a look at the Files tab. And you'll notice here that the file actually was uploaded for us automatically into this Files tab, which is kind of more or less a SharePoint site, which is just kind of here for your convenience. But everything's actually handled by SharePoint on the back end, and we'll take a little bit of a closer look in that in a second. So now from Alan's Teams here, if we go ahead and open up this file, it's actually going to launch right in this Teams interface here. And you'll get a couple notifications here, if it's the first time that you've tried to use this functionality. It'll give you some tips on how to use things more efficiently. Here we have a little privacy notification here, and you can respond to that accordingly. But for now, let's just go ahead and close on out of that. Okay, so we have this invoice tracking here. We have the ability to edit if we come up here. And this will actually launch a version of Word that can actually run within Teams. So now you can see that as from Alan's Teams here, we actually have the ability to edit things. So we can, type in. There we go. We can just go ahead and let people know. And if we hop back over to Kelly's screen, Karen's screen, sorry, we can actually take a look if we hop in that file as well. We'll notice that whatever Alan typed in on his end is actually reflected right in Karen's screen here. If we hop in here too, you'll actually be able to see exactly where Alan's cursor is. So you see the little AS up there with the little green cursor there? That's actually exactly where Alan is in the document and what he is working on at this moment. That's really convenient because it can actually show you dynamically what people are trying to update, and it can actually give you a reference to where they are in the file and what they're trying to work on here. So obviously that can be pretty useful as far as a collaborative standpoint. You can work together with people here. and take advantage of that to make things a little bit easier. As far, instead of sharing things back and forth via email or in an attachment, uh, this was actually you can do this at the exact same time. So now that I'm in here with Karen, I can actually let's go ahead and make a section for Karen. Just to let everybody know that the invoices have been updated. So that way, if we take back a look back over Alan here, that has been reflected on his end as well. And we'll see Karen's cursor is right where right where we left it in Karen's Word application. We also have the ability to open this directly in the desktop application, and the same exact thing will happen too. So here, just to demonstrate, we'll go ahead and open up document in Word. And yeah, like I said before, if this is the first time doing this, it might take a little bit longer. You might see some prompts that may not look like they should be there, but we can actually see once we get into this document that we do actually have the exact same thing reflected here. We have Karen, her cursor's right here. We have her name attached to it. We can even actually see who all's in the file if we take a look up here at the top right. You see Karen's icon, and we can actually start a chat with her directly from Microsoft Word, which may not seem natural, but it is a possibility if you should so choose. So here, we'll close out of this, and we'll resume editing here. And here, let's just close out of that. And yeah, like I said, that'll be maintained across everything. So even if we go to open in SharePoint, which will actually open up the SharePoint site that is connected to this team, I can demonstrate that here for you as well. So we have our invoice tracking sheet, and like I said, we'll get some tips and tricks here. You can take a look at those when those pop up on your end. Just a couple things to get you a little bit more familiarized with the application here, just so you don't feel alienated at the start here. Okay, so now if we were to open up this invoice tracking, it's going to open up in a web application. This is kind of similar to the Teams version of Word, where it's going to be a somewhat simplified version of Word, but you should still be able to use most of the features that you would typically use when trying to edit a document here. And as we can see up here, Karen is still in this document, and she's still right here where we left her. All right, great. So that's pretty much co-authoring. I hope that was informative, and hopefully you'll be able to employ this from day one as soon as you start using Office 365 and Teams.